The Honorable Anita Anand, Minister of Foreign Affairs, met with Radoslaw Sikorski, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs of Poland, on the margins of the UN General Assembly in New York City, New York. The ministers discussed pressing geopolitical challenges, including support for the Honorable Reky Valdez, Minister of Women and Gender Equality and Secretary of State, shared the following message with Canadians: from coast to coast to coast, tourism contributes to the well-being of Canadians. By providing good jobs in over 5,000 communities, it strengthens local economies. The Honorable Anita Anand, Minister of Foreign Affairs, met yesterday with Andriy Sybiha, Ukraine's Minister of Foreign Affairs, to discuss Canada's continued support for Ukraine in the face of Russia's ongoing war of aggression. Minister Anand reaffirmed Canada's role as co-chair, alongside Ukraine. The Honorable Anita Anand, Minister of Foreign Affairs, met with Winston Peters, New Zealand's Minister of Foreign Affairs, at the United Nations General Assembly in New York City, New York. The ministers discussed opportunities for deepening the Canada-New Zealand partnership and increasing the CL. The Honorable Anita Anand, Minister of Foreign Affairs, met yesterday with Cho Hyun, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea, at the United Nations General Assembly in New York City, New York. As strategic partners in the Indo-Pacific region, the ministers discussed deepening cooperation. September 26, 2025, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Global Affairs Canada. This week, Yasser Naqvi, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of International Trade and to the Secretary of State, concluded his participation in the 14th Association of Southeast Asian Nations Economic Ministers Canada Co. Public feedback and stakeholder engagement will inform strategy for Canada to be an AI leader. Canada stands at a turning point in history, as technology transforms every aspect of our lives and global forces reshape our future. This moment demands a renewal of thinking, a collective commitment to RE. Minister Valdez outlines federal tariff response supports to keep workers employed and help businesses adapt. Today at Unifor Local 444, the Honorable Reky Valdez, Minister of Women and Gender Equality and Secretary of State, outlined how the federal government's tariff response measures will sup. The Honorable Anita Anand, Minister of Foreign Affairs, met with Mark Rutte, NATO Secretary General, on the margins of the UN General Assembly in New York City, New York. Minister Anand and Secretary General Rutte discussed threats and challenges facing NATO. Minister Anand highlighted Canada's the governments of Australia, Belgium, Canada, Chile, Denmark, Estonia, Finland, France, Germany, Greece, Iceland, Ireland, Liechtenstein, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Norway, Qatar, Slovenia, Sweden, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom issued the following statement on September 24 during the HIG. Funding will support the retrofit of the community hub, which includes an improved insulation system, the installation of solar features, and additional climate resilience enhancements. Interior renovations will include a widened entryway, upgraded bathrooms, and new flooring to improve accessibility. The Government of Canada is investing an additional $75 million in the agri-marketing program over 5 years, starting in 2026 to 27. Under the enhanced program, national industry associations in the agriculture, fish and seafood sectors, seeking to build on Canada's existing strategy to increase and diversify. Over $1.5 million for attracting visitors, creating new signature events, small infrastructure upgrades and more in the north. From jaw-dropping landscapes to on-the-land adventures to authentic cultural experiences, Northern Canada has so much to offer locals and visitors alike. Today, the Government of Canada, through CANR, is providing over $1.5 million in targeted funding for 6 projects aimed at improving and developing the tourism sector in the north. Funding for these projects is being provided through CANR's IDE North program. Project: Tourism Recovery and Growth through. Time: 2:00 p.m. PT. Members of the media are asked to contact HICC Media Relations at media-medias@inf.gc.kto, receive event location details, and confirm their attendance. Today, the Honorable David J. McGuinty, the Minister of National Defense, introduced an act to amend the National Defense Act and other acts. The legislation was originally proposed as Bill C-66 but was terminated with the prorogation of Parliament in January 2025. The Military Justice System Moderni. A new tenants' rights program will provide Nova Scotians with free legal advice and education to better navigate housing challenges, supported by nearly $1 million in federal funding. The program is being delivered by the Nova Scotia Legal Aid Commission, which will make free legal advice and res hour. MP Lapointe and guest speakers will be available to answer questions from the media following the announcement. Time 10:00 a.m. Location Norcat 1545 Maley Drive Sudbury, On. This was announced today by the Honourable Dominic LeBlanc, President of the King's Privy Council for Canada and Minister responsible for Canada-US Trade, Intergovernmental Affairs, Internal Trade and One Canadian Economy, Benoit Bourque, Deputy Speaker of the Legislative Assembly on behalf of the current status of the agency's presence on the farm. The CFIA will continue to provide appropriate feed and water to the ostriches under CFIA veterinary oversight. The CFIA will be using feed provided by the ostrich farm's regular supplier once it is delivered. The CFIA has completed an initial count. Whitehorse Brendan Hanley, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Northern and Arctic Affairs and Member of Parliament, will make an announcement on Monday about minority language education and second language instruction. He will make the announcement on behalf of the Honourable Stephen Guilbeault. The Honourable Maninder Sidhu, Minister of International Trade, welcomed the announcement by the World Trade Organization that the Agreement on Fisheries Subsidies has entered into force. The agreement aims to ensure sustainable global fisheries by establishing new multilateral trade rules on CERTA. For immediate release, the closures were originally scheduled from Tuesday, September 9th to Tuesday, September 30th. The period for these closures has been extended by 1 month. The extended closures are required to carry out additional maintenance work. The updated schedule is as follows. During this Peter Fragiscatos, Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship and Member of Parliament for London Centre, on behalf of the Honourable Evan Solomon, Minister of Artificial Intelligence and Digital Innovation and Minister responsible for the Federal Economic Devil. Assiniboia Residential School Legacy Group and Ben Carr, Member of Parliament for Winnipeg South Centre, on behalf of the Honourable Stephen Guilbeault, Minister of Canadian Identity and Culture and Minister responsible for official languages, will participate in a ceremony highlighting the national. Today, the Minister of National Defence, the Honourable David J. McGuinty, introduced an act to amend the National Defence Act and other acts. The legislation was originally proposed as Bill C-66 but was terminated with the prorogation of Parliament in January 2025. The series of targeted measures are: the Honourable François-Philippe Champagne, Minister of Finance and National Revenue, hosted a virtual meeting with his provincial and territorial counterparts yesterday to coordinate on key economic priorities ahead of Budget 2025. Discussion focused on supporting growth, competitiveness, and build. The projects announced today include project name Mediterranean Model Forest Network, IFRAIN recipient Association for a Modally IFRAIN location IFRAIN, Morocco funding amount $150,000 description. The proponent will rehabilitate and adapt traditional practices to preserve the natural resources of Morocco. This funding will help restore damaged ecosystems, support agroforestry and sustainable local businesses, empower Indigenous and local communities, especially women and youth, and improve global forest management and restoration. Healthy forests around the world contribute to carbon sequestration. The Government of Canada is launching a public consultation on Phase 1 of the risk management of the class of PFAS, excluding fluoropolymers. This phase proposes to address all known remaining uses of PFAS that are not already regulated in firefighting foams. POR and polyfluoroalkyl substances, AL. In a continued effort to protect the health of people in Canada and the environment, the federal government is taking the next step in addressing POR and polyfluoroalkyl substances. PFAS are a class of thousands of human-made substances that are also known as forever chemicals. These substances